Welcome back to Win Big Law. Today we're breaking down the Luigi Mangione case. It's been in headlines the last couple days, last 2 weeks for a pretrial hearing. His lawyers are seeking to get a bunch of evidence tossed. There's a backpack, there's a manifesto in it, there's the weapon apparently in the backpack, and they're seeking to have all this stuff tossed. Arguing that there was no warrant to search the backpack and therefore the evidence should be thrown out. They're going to probably say that without that evidence, that there's no case against Luigi Mangione. Well, first off, there's zero chance, zero possibility that that evidence is getting thrown out. Zero. This is a highly publicized trial in both state and federal court, state court in New York. Those judges, I don't believe they're appointed for life. They face elections or appointments. So if that judge, the state judge, has to worry about getting reelected or reappointed to the bench, they're not going to have this case be tossed or the evidence be thrown out and the case go down the toilet because of these arguments. It's just not going to happen. Not with a case that's this highly publicized. You could argue that they might try to split the baby, so to speak. That's a phrase you hear a lot in the legal field. I don't know why or who came up with it or who's splitting babies. But in any event, they might try to make both sides happy, do a compromise. But there's no real compromise here. I mean, the evidence is going to come in. There's just too many arguments for it coming in. The police, obviously, they didn't have a warrant when they searched his backpack. But, I mean, all things considered, they did make an argument that they had to search it because they were afraid for their safety. Now, let's be real here. This individual is accused of basically gunning down another individual in the morning, I would say broad daylight, although it was early morning hours, so it wasn't that bright outside. But still, in the middle of the day, in the morning, accused of gunning down this individual. It's not that crazy to think that the officers would have to be concerned with their safety or concerned for their safety. I mean, you don't really know what's going through the head or the mind of this individual. And sure, that doesn't give them carte blanche, Kate Blanchett, to go look in every backpack that they come across. If they pull you over for speeding, or if they stop you on the street for jaywalking, obviously you have your Fourth Amendment rights. They're not going to search your backpack. But this is a totally different scenario. Now, I'm not saying that he did it, but I'm saying that there's a lot of evidence that kind of says he did. I mean, the pictures, there's video surveillance, pictures. I think he took down his mask in a coffee shop or something like that. And so, I mean, the evidence kind of points in his direction, a lot in his direction. Now, that coupled with the fact of at no point did I hear or have I seen anything talked about or any time that it's been discussed where he was if he wasn't there, if he didn't do it. I mean, what was he doing at the McDonald's in Altoona? Where was he prior to that? Does he have an alibi? Did he have an alibi? I mean, sure, he doesn't have to prove that he's innocent. You're innocent until proven guilty. But if you really didn't do it, you'd think that you'd say, okay, well, I didn't do it for these reasons. I wasn't even there. I was at my friend's house. I was here, there, anywhere. You have cell phone records that basically can track your locations anywhere. You could say where you were pretty easily these days. And so, you know, it's obviously he doesn't have to say that. It's the state's job and the federal government's job to prove that he did it. But such a highly publicized trial, he's incarcerated without bail, without bond, until the trial. I mean, he's shackled hand to feet. I mean, if you actually had some evidence to exonerate you, wouldn't you put it forward at least now to at least get out of jail pending trial? I mean, get out on bond. I mean, on bail. I mean, it's a highly publicized trial, and he's being charged with murder. But if you had something that could exonerate you, something that could clearly show a judge, a court, anybody that you're not the guy, why wouldn't you at least try to do that now to get out on bail? So it's just, there's a lot of people out there, and they're saying, oh, this case, the evidence could turn the case, or could get the case thrown out. Prosecutors have a tough job. I don't think that the prosecutors have a tough job. I think the only way that he doesn't get convicted is if people just ignore the reality of the situation. Then they just decide the case completely on their principles or their beliefs that what he did was somehow right because the victim was the CEO of a health insurance company. That's the only reason. That's the only way he's getting acquitted. Is if the people go and they decide the case and ignore what evidence there is, because you can get lawyers on camera saying, "Oh, I don't see any evidence that he did it." Well, that guy is just saying that. We're ignoring reality. We have reality distortion, and he's saying it because he's probably getting paid to say it. He's getting paid to represent him, or he's getting paid because he's a defense attorney or what have you. But that just because you can get somebody acquitted doesn't mean the person didn't do it. And if you're out there and you're in support of what he did, I mean, no one really knows why he did it to begin with. I mean, the cops claimed to have found a manifesto in his book bag, but they didn't say what the manifesto necessarily said, or at least didn't publicize the manifesto. So everyone's just assuming that whoever did this, if we're saying he's innocent until proven guilty, whoever did this, they're assuming that they did it for reasons for the general public, for people who are victims of health insurance companies. But no one really knows why they did it. I mean, and at the end of the day, it's like, where does that stop? I mean, you're just supporting somebody doing that, but you don't know the guy that was on the other side. I mean, he had a family, he had a job. I mean, this isn't the first time. And yeah, okay, you're CEO of health insurance company. Health insurance companies, they take advantage of people. They deny claims wrongfully. It's hardly the first business to ever do something wrong or illegal. I mean, you have just look up the Ford Pinto case. It was the first criminal prosecution of a U.S. corporation, Indiana versus Ford Motor Co., for a product defect, specifically its dangerously placed fuel tank prone to rupturing and exploding in rear-ended collisions. Now, the reason that was a criminal prosecution is because Ford knew that there was a danger, but they ran the numbers and they figured that the recall to fix it was more expensive than if they just paid out to people who may die. So if you think that this is somehow going to solve problems with corporate greed, you got another thing coming, because it's not. And all it did was just result in one person dying, and now kids growing up without a father. So it's not right, whoever did it, or for whatever reasons that they did it. It's never right. But the case isn't going to go away because of alleged Fourth Amendment violations, Fifth Amendment violations. It's still going to go to trial. And it's likely that evidence is going to come in. But even if it doesn't come in, you still have surveillance footage. You still have other photos. I mean, there's still enough to convict him, even without that other evidence. And so, I mean, what's probably going to happen is the evidence is going to come in. Like I said, unless you're just ignoring all the evidence, or it's, there's people who say, well, it's planted, they made up this evidence. Really? It's planted? I mean, so you're saying they just happened to find this guy in the Altoona McDonald's. I mean, if you're not familiar with Pennsylvania and Altoona, Altoona is like the middle of nowhere. Like, who goes to Altoona? I mean, and I live in Pennsylvania. I wouldn't be able to tell you where Altoona is. Like, nobody goes to Altoona. Nobody. And he's in a McDonald's in Altoona, like the most random of places. So the police, if you think that they faked or fabricated this evidence, that means that the police had to know of Luigi Mangione. They had to know who he was. and they had to know that he was going to be at that McDonald's in Altoona. They had to then write manifestos themselves, come up with I think he had a 3D printed weapon, make that, other stuff, a list. I think he had a shopping list or something. Then figure that he's going to be there with a book bag, because it's not like he's saying he didn't have a book bag. They're just saying the police wrongfully searched his book bag. But the police would have had to have rolled up to the McDonald's with all that stuff, banking on the fact that he was in there to begin with, and he had a book bag that they're going to put the stuff in. I mean, come on, like, how far-fetched are we really getting here? Bottom line, like, yeah, there are cases where police plant evidence. I'm sure, okay? It's not, you can support police or not support police. It doesn't change the fact that there are cops who probably plant evidence or fabricate evidence or what have you, whatever. But there's a lot that would have had to have gone into it to specifically set up Luigi Mangione. I mean, they would have had to have known who he was to even set him up in the first place. I mean, they would have had to find this guy that looks like the guy in the other pictures, and we're going to set him up because we know he's going to be randomly having it his way at McDonald's, like in Altoona. I mean, think about it. So, but in any event, it's pretty feasible. It's not like far-fetched to think that the cops were afraid for their safety, and that's why they looked in the bag. I mean, yeah, you need a warrant to search someone's bag like that. You can, unless there's probable cause or exigent circumstances. But you could argue that, those existed. I mean, I think they made everybody leave, and it was just him and the cops. So then the question is, was he detained? Was he read his Miranda right? It was Miranda warnings, his Miranda rights. It's like, people make a big deal out about that, that he wasn't read his Miranda warnings, Miranda rights right away. But I mean, that goes into like the interrogation and the question and his answers. So if he would have said, I did it, before they read him his Miranda warnings, and he was a suspect in custody, then, it's everything you say can be used against you in the court of law. Like, the Miranda warnings don't have anything to do necessarily with the backpack search. The backpack search has to do with whether or not he was deemed in custody, or whether or not they had a warrant to search it. So that doesn't really mean anything, at least to me, that they didn't read the Miranda warnings right away, because he's not claiming that. I don't think they're claiming that he said he did it, although I think they are claiming in some circumstances that he told like a guard or somebody why he did it or something like that. I mean, I don't know. I mean, at the end of the day, it's all just white noise is what it is with the Miranda warnings, the backpack, the evidence isn't getting tossed. He's only likely getting acquitted if the people just completely ignore what's in front of them and they want to acquit him out of some sort of principle that they think what he did was right or something. That's the only way. And then if that happens, I mean, at that point, you're just basically saying it's okay to randomly target and murder people who run companies that those companies take advantage and victimize other people. But again, that's hardly the only company to be doing it. It's not just health insurance companies, by the way. It's literally anything. I mean, there's toxic water cases. Just look up like Zantac. I took Zantac. It's for acid reflux. I mean, and took it for years, and it wasn't until recently that they're like, oh, by the way, it's a carcinogen. So, I mean, like, at that point, I mean, like, really, like, it's just all companies taking advantage of people. And yeah, you could say, okay, well, somebody has to do something. Well, that's not the thing, because it didn't really do anything. It's not going to stop anything. And it's just, one wrong begets another wrong and so forth. So, but we're the legal channel, not the morality channel. But the legal channel says that, this evidence isn't getting thrown out. And, Fourth Amendment, Fifth Amendment, I mean, I think that there's reason enough for what they did, and no judge is going to exclude anything. But I guess only time will tell. We'll continue to follow up on the pretrial evidentiary hearings and what happens moving forward, and we'll keep you posted. Thanks for watching. we've got more wild legal stories, courtroom chaos, and yes, a few wins too. So tap like, hit subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.